Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Eternal X Wolfpack Paranormal Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Ellis. Tonight we have a great guest. We have Ms. Tracey Jones sitting backstage. But I'd also like to give a big shout out to the following for making the new theme song for the Eternal X Wolfpack Paranormal, Mr. Joshua Moore. Definitely go check out his page and he's got a lot of great theme songs and stuff he does for movies and stuff. So definitely go check it out. I definitely appreciate Joshua Moore for making the new theme song. And I will definitely keep him in mind and start advertising for him all the time here because he did do a great job for the show. Also, backstage, I have one of my co-hosts tonight. He is from All Access Network Television. And he is sitting backstage as well as Mr. Shane McLean. He's going to co-host with me tonight. So let's bring on Shane. And he just made this, and I brought him on for that. So let's bring him on, Mr. Shane McLean.
What's up, buddy?
In a little bit.
Glad to be here, man. Glad to be here. I love being on your shows anyway, man. It's always a good time.
It's definitely not around. You're actually co-hosting with me tonight.
That's it. That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. I look forward to hearing what Tracey says. You know, I mean, I've always had a lot of respect for her, and I want to have her on my show as well because I've been having a thing with mediums here. I've got one coming up Monday. I had Bianca Rose. I had Shannon Collins. I had all them. And I want to have Tracey too.
Yeah, I told her here when we were sitting backstage, we were talking about you, and I was like, let's rattle Shane's cage and see if he wants to come on co-host tonight. So
it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much, man. Especially like with yours, I've turned down a few too because like I'm really not. There's some of them there to where I'm like a last thing, like they called me like 10 minutes before, but you're literally the only person that I know that could call me literally 5 minutes before a show starts and be like, you want to co-host? Let's do it.
I definitely appreciate that because I was just sitting there backstage and I was like, you know what? We all got something in common. So you know what? Let's get Shane involved if he wants to jump in tonight. And like I said, I haven't talked to you for a little bit, and me and you always get along great, and conversation's always good. And And we're also a part of All Access Network Television, and I think we've been doing a hell of a job here lately.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. We have been consistent. What I like about All Access too is that it is given a platform for so many to really just kind of open up and to explore, different avenues that you may not be used to. And I've learned so much from other people, and they've learned a lot from me too. And that's one thing that we do is we bounce things off of each other. And I appreciate every single guest that I've ever had. And I appreciate being a guest on this show too. Our co-host.
For sure. I definitely have another announcement I'm going to bring up here real quick before I bring Tracey up. May 24th, we have the Mr. James Stokes will be on.
Oh, that's my guy.
He will be on. He's been filming here, I guess, here last few days, and he said this will be his open date. So I'm making it official tonight. He will be on May 24th at 7 p.m. If you'd like to meet the guy that took the mantle of Jason Voorhees.
Hey, you see that picture you got right there of Jason?
Yep.
He actually sent me a signed copy of that from me and Angie of that same picture right there. I've got it on the wall right now.
I actually have a signed picture that Gwen got me with he signed it for me, but Gwen hasn't got it to me yet because we don't want to get it bent up in the mail. But I do have a signed copy by him, and I'm waiting to see it. But it'll be a great show on May 24th.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll be watching that one, man. That's my guy. I talk to him probably 2, maybe 3 times a week. I talked to him one of the last times I spoke with him. He was at that location to where they were doing the restoration for the roof
Yeah.
at Haunted Hill Manor. And I've done several podcasts for Haunted Hill Manor, to raise and listen to this, brother. Listen, I found out that after the podcast that we had, we went on and we displayed their GoFundMe or whatever. And one of the people that were watching, or one of the people that were on there, actually had a lot of compassion towards them and sent $1,000 right off. So I mean, and that's what it's about, man. That's what it's about. To me, that's what Para-Unity is about. We can talk about it all day long. We can say, "Oh, I'm Para-Unity this," but talking about it and being about it are two very different things.
Oh, most definitely, for sure. And I've seen shows with Mr. James Stokes on it, and he's a hell of a guy. I mean,
oh, he's great. He's great.
I mean, I'm excited for him to be on the show on May 24th, and looking forward to it. And everything I've heard from other podcasts when he's been on them, he's just amazing.
Did you see the show with him on my show?
Mm-hmm. I watched it.
Well, he brought his mask, the whole mask.
Mm-hmm. I've seen it. But yeah, that's awesome. Hello, Blaine.
What's up, Blaine?
Blaine Rohan. He is also with All Access Network Television as well. So let's bring on our guest tonight. We have me, you, and her had something in common for a little bit. We used to be on a previous network for a brief period of time, but now she's broke out on her own, and now she has her own show. So let's bring on Miss Tracey Jones.
Tracey Jones. Hey.
I want a signed autograph too. I feel left out.
What?
One without a signed autograph of the guy.
Well, maybe if you get on one of the podcasts and talk to him, maybe you get one.
Yeah, definitely.
He's a hell of a guy. Like I said.
Oh, he is. He's phenomenal. I mean, not only that, guys, but listen, James Stokes, he played not only Jason Voorhees, but he played, if you watch that show 911 Nashville, he was a firefighter on that show.
Okay.
Yeah.
And James, I don't know if you've seen him, but he's a big guy.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He's a big guy. And when he puts that Jason suit on, that he is what Jason should look like.
And doesn't he got a part in Stranger Things now too?
Yeah, he got a part in Stranger Things. He's got a lot going on, and not only that, but his charity work too. Like with Haunted Hill, about the roof and everything, like all the proceeds and stuff like that with him and him going live and stuff like that, bringing the costume and everything, that all went towards the restoration of that roof too. Yeah. So his charity work speaks for itself too.
That is awesome. So let's get on with Miss Tracey tonight. Miss Tracey.
Cat has his zoomies.
Huh?
His cat has the zoomies.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're gonna see him everywhere. I got like 20 of them.
So Miss Tracey.
I only have 8. I have a starter set.
You have a new show. It's called Beyond the Veil now.
It is called
Beyond the
Beyond the Veil.
Veil.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, the name was suggested to me. I wanted to had a bit of a bad experience with the former network and under Paranormal White Witch. Love the name, but I just wanted to break clean and just have no connection. Okay, even though I kept the Gmail. It has been wonderful. I love it. You know, I get to talk to so many people. I've gotten to meet so many like you guys, nice people, lifelong friends. You know, it's a great hobby for me. You know, I'm not in it to look, to make money. Although I do have a book on Amazon that you can get now.
Wow.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Put it up.
What's it called?
Put it up. Put it up
It is-
again.
Yeah, put it up. Put a link in.
Okay. It's called
Witchcraft.
Witchcraft by Blood and Tradition, a beginner's guide. And I called it that because in my family lineage, it's every third generation.
Mhm.
So it's a
What do you mean? It skips over a couple?
it skips
So how do
two.
you how does your family recognize that? How do they know?
I was born with what is called the veil. And it's a thin, downy covering that comes literally to where a veil would. And it eventually dissipates after a year or so. But it's like a symbol or sign of somebody with second sight and natural gifts and stuff. My great grandmother had it too. And fortunately for me, my mother adored her grandmother. They would go out and play and, make little piles of stuff. Mom didn't have any abilities at all. But she knew when she had me, like right from the get go, she goes, okay, she's going to be like Grandma Croft. That's okay. So, and I was fortunate because a lot of people, their parents, well meaning, will say, it's in your head, don't do this, don't do that. Mine just let me go. She didn't encourage, she didn't discourage. She just let it develop on its own. So I was lucky. A lucky one, which is why I wrote the book, because not everybody has that.
Right.
So what are some of the things that we can actually read in the book, just briefly?
Sure. I go into a brief history of witchcraft in and of itself. I explain my background and my great grandmother's background. Explain how witchcraft was thought of one way at one period of time and how it changed, and now it's kind of come full circle. Of course, there's lots of spells in there, but that's not the main gist of the book. The main gist is just to let people, to drill it into their heads that you don't have to follow this strict set of rules to be a witch, except do what you will, harm you none. That's the one you have to follow. But there's no set pattern to set up your altar. Your altar doesn't have to be anything big or elaborate. It could be anywhere. It could be anything. Right. There's so much stereotype nonsense. And I feel like a lot of the newer ones, they call themselves baby witches, except for me, the old grown. They feel like if they don't do it just like this, it's not going to work. And I want to cut through that bull crap, which is what I put in there.
Well, I definitely agree with you on the altar part, because I've been taking shaman classes for almost 3 years now. And he told me, you set up your altar and how it works for you.
Exactly.
Nothing's wrong if it works for you the way it's supposed to.
Right. Yeah. And, I discuss in there with people that don't go out and buy hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars worth of crystals and candles and books and this and that and the other. Start in your home. See what you've got in your kitchen, see what you've got around your house, and build from there. You don't have to start out with the creme de la creme. I mean, I like I said, I'm going to be 61. I still don't have the creme de la creme. I have what I know works for me, and I set it up how I want to set it up.
Exactly. So. And that's one of the things I've also been taught, some things may work for me, but they may not work for you or may not work for Shane, but it doesn't say that it's wrong, because it does work for me. So it can't be wrong, but it may not work for either one of you two. But exactly. I mean, we could give advice on how it works, and then what you put together yourself to get it to work, that's for you.
Yep. Yeah. And I tell everybody that too, because my clearing and cleansing when I'm helping a client or whatnot is from a theological point of view. I use a very
Sure.
biblical point of view, and where I use frankincense, I use holy water, use holy oil, holy salt, things of that nature. But
Right.
it works. It works for me. It works for my family. And I tell people, if what you're doing works for you and it brings content, happiness, peace, and happiness to you, that's what it's about. Because
Yep.
we're not here to judge how anybody operates or does anything, because yeah, don't be a back exactly, Andy. Don't be a backseat driver.
Yeah. Oh, there's lots of those.
Most
I also
definitely.
wanted to get across the point where they would understand you can throw out all your tchotchkes, all of this and of that you've got everywhere. It's your intent,
Mm-hmm.
how you are perceiving things, and how you are like presenting things. And I told them, I tell the story of abracadabra, which is actually it's an old spell, and it can be
It
used both
is.
ways.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. You can use it for those that don't know. Abracadabra, if you spell it out and then each line you take away something, that's getting rid of something. Same
Right.
thing if you reverse it and you start with just, 1A and then you go down to the full name, that's when you want something to happen. So it's been around a
Right.
lot longer than people realize.
Yeah, it's not just a kid thing. A
Exactly.
lot of people look at that name and they're like, like you see Harry Potter, you
Yeah.
see little sorcerers and stuff, and you're abracadabra, abracadabra. It's just something that's just so common, even in mainstream, that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it really does have meaning, like with the
Yeah.
Celtics and the Druids and stuff like that. The meaning behind it has a lot of significance
Mhm.
when it comes to
Right.
that
Sure.
kind of background.
And not a lot
Yeah.
of people understand what the meaning of that is as well.
Yeah. And I think the other thing that people need to come to understand, and I talk about this with my husband all the time, every time you speak, you're casting.
Oh yeah.
What you put out is what you get back. So if you're constantly, oh, this is going to go wrong, that's going to go wrong, it's like a self fulfilling prophecy. Yeah. You
We
do
got a
that?
we got a comment here. It says, "What's going on, Mr. Shane? How you doing?"
Hey, Biggie, nice to see you.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, words of manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
What you keep putting out of your mouth. If it's something bad, it keeps coming back to you. Trust me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And if you keep telling yourself you're going to fail, well, that's what it's going to be. You're going to fail.
How we talk to other people becomes their inner voice.
That's a
What
good point.
That's
what
how we
Andy said.
She said, "How we talk to people becomes their inner voice."
Oh,
Yeah.
most definitely. Most definitely.
I
I mean,
like that. It's deep, Angie.
I remember a coworker I used to help. I mean, every time he turned around, bad stuff was happening, and I said, "You've got to change the way you speak and the way you're putting out stuff because it keep coming back to you, and you're not getting it." And he just didn't understand it. I said, "You've got to change your attitude. You've got to change your perspective, and you got to put out positive energy."
Right.
And he never did understand it. But then
It's
they
like,
wonder why bad things keep happening.
well, even biblically, we speak life and death into existence.
True.
Yeah.
So we can speak life into someone and we can speak death into someone too. And it doesn't mean that they'll die, but there could be pieces of that person that die that
Yeah.
they may not ever be able to get back because of something you said. The
Mhm.
Yeah.
tongue is the most powerful muscle in the entire
Oh,
body.
yeah.
And
Yep.
Shane, let me ask you a question. I know a couple of gentlemen who um, are very religious, and they respect my point of view, but they don't believe in ghosts. Do you believe in ghosts?
yes,
Or what do you think about them?
I had a paranormal experience when I was 10 years old.
Okay.
I saw my grandfather, and I know what I saw. Um,
Okay.
I am I am clergy, but I'm clergy that works inside the paranormal field.
Okay.
So you know, I help my wife and I help families that are dealing with things that they are not familiar with. We
Gotcha.
also teach and train teams. We just got done with Tri-City out of Ohio. They've got 5 different divisions.
Okay.
We were teaching them, you know, grounding, protection, just clearing, cleansing the proper way, you know,
Mhm.
and we love doing that. But yes, I definitely believe in the paranormal, and that's the reason why I started my podcast, Bridging the Seen and Unseen, was to
Mhm.
bridge the gap between paranormal and clergy, because
Okay.
I stepped out of ministry. I stepped out from being, I was a full time pastor in a church. I stepped
Mhm.
down from being a full time pastor, and I've studied theology for 30 something years.
Okay.
So I stepped down, you know, because we were having families coming in that had real problems,
Mhm.
and preachers could preach all day long on spiritual warfare, what it takes to do spiritual warfare, and not know how to do a thing about it. And I didn't want to be that person.
Right.
So in Bible college, you know, I got with apostolics, I got with deliverance, I got with original Hebrew, um, Hebrewic traditions, and we mashed all that together. And when I became a Knights Templar, um, that has really opened up to where we value we value that. And my
Mhm.
team, the Knights Templar church that I'm a part of, we are a spiritual warfare driven church that works inside the paranormal field, and we have made ourselves available to
Mhm.
teams, to families, to things like that, to really help with paranormal issues. So I
That's awesome.
definitely believe in the paranormal.
It's one of the reasons why I'm not taking over your show, Shane. I promise you. Um, it's one of the reasons I agreed to do the podcast and eventually wrote the book. Is I just like you. I wanted to break the stereotype. You know, in my case, we're not all walking around with white makeup and gothy looking and acting stupid.
Yeah,
You
Right.
know, if
yeah,
if that's how you want to be, if that's how you want to portray yourself, more power to you. But that's not how 99% of us are. Most of the time, you'll pass us on the street, you won't even know.
yeah,
Yeah,
There's a secret,
for sure.
code, but so we'll know.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because see, like when you hear the term, I think the term witchcraft in itself, I think it brings a level of fear to people
Mhm.
Oh,
because of what Rome and everything has done with it, instead of understanding a lot of the issues and the values and the core values that people put behind it.
Right,
They
yeah.
right.
shun it.
Right.
And it's easier for them to shun it than it is to understand it, because why take the time to understand something that you're not going to have anything to do with? So that lets me know right
Exactly.
there.
Yeah,
Most
yeah,
definitely. Most definitely. And like I said, even believing in ghosts, until something actually happens to you and you have that experience, you're still going to be a skeptic.
yeah. See, that was my husband. He was always skeptical, but he supported me. He didn't like make me feel like I was being stupid or whatever, And then he started to go out with me, and now he has the nickname Cameraman Bob. And as Sean knows, because he helped record it, we went down to a place in Laurel, Maryland called Laurel's House of Horrors, and
Hmm.
it was down there. And he was walking around that he had an experience. He saw a face that was there, and then that face wasn't there. So he's seen me channel serial killers down there and all kinds of mischief.
And
He's
once
like,
it happens one time,
uh-huh.
see, that's what I wish people would understand, you know. And another thing that we've been trying to do as clergies is break in the monotony of everything being demonic.
Yes. Thank you.
It drives me up a wall because listen, I am a certified exorcist. I work spiritual warfare ministries, and I'm gonna tell you something now. Exorcism is a last resort, and you can ask my wife. Out of the cases that we work where people have been told by teams that there is a demonic, and then I'll go in there and I'll do my proper testing, my questionnaires, my releases, not only for doctors, but I send doctors in, I send psychiatric evaluations, I get all that stuff done because I eliminate everything that it's not before we ever bring in the oppressiveness of a demonic spirit.
Right.
Most
Yeah,
definitely.
and I think too, people don't realize there's so many different levels to it. You know,
There
the
is.
Exorcist, that is a 1 in a trillion, say that something like that will happen. But you've
It's
got
like
all kinds of
it's
low
less
level
than
tricks.
1%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was about to say. Out of all the cases that I worked, maybe 1% is. I mean, now I have had experiences. I've had demonic experiences. I have actually got a little video of one of our clients that's overseas
Okay.
that she is 100% during this 100% demonically oppressed. She was
Ooh.
not only speaking, she was speaking Aramaic, she was
Oh,
speaking Hebrew, she was speaking Greek at the same time in the same form of sentences. She was hissing. There was 3 or 4 different voices coming out of her, and you can hear that in this video. And the
Oh,
reason why we
wow.
did that is because we had her sitting in front. She was talking normal, just like this,
Mhm.
just like this. And I always do a test. I send a very powerful spiritual warfare prayer, and I have them read it. And if they can read that prayer and finish it in Jesus' name, then I know that it's not as effective in them yet. There is. But the second that I hold this or
Mhm.
one of these, which is a Saint Benedict crucifix in front
Okay.
of them, Saint Benedict was the very first exorcist, very first successful exorcist,
mhm.
and has some of the most powerful prayers when it comes to spiritual warfare that you can use. And
Okay.
as soon as I put it up, she changed immediately. She changed.
Wow.
Her
Okay.
eyes, her eyes glazed over. There were no more color in her eyes. They were black. They were through, and she was not full blown possessed yet, but she is on the verge.
Mhm.
She is experiencing oppression. And that's what people have to understand. You said there's stages, there are.
Yeah.
There's encroachment, which is manifestation, there's infestation, there's oppression, there's possession, and then even after possession, there is obsession. And in the past 5 years, there's been a rise in obsession that they actually want something that they had while they were possessed and they wish to have that back. Well, the Bible is very clear that once it leaves from you and you invite that back, which is the encroachment part again, where you invite it back in again, not only does it come back, but it brings 7 times worse than what it was before. So
Oh, okay.
it makes it
Mhm.
dangerous.
Most
Oh,
definitely.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I've experienced a young child that actually was hissing and doing things like that as well, and when we took care of that. But I mean, it wasn't a full blown, how do I say, upset or possession as well, but it was really deep because that little boy he was 12 years old, picked up the front of a riding lawnmower that's got 3 blades, so that's fairly good size. Picked up the front of that lawnmower and was bouncing it like a basketball.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen things like that happen. So, I mean, it does, but when you get into things like that, it's rare. It's very, very rare.
Yep. The first time I ever had any experience demonically was inside of a church.
Okay.
Was inside of a church when the guy that was standing behind me, no one ever saw him. No one ever saw him. And we stood up to start worship. And as soon as the worship started, as soon as the name Jesus came out, he tried to get it out of his mouth and he became where he was stuttering. And as soon as he stuttered, he got thrown about 10, 12 feet into a wall. I mean, and you heard him hit the wall. The chair hit the wall. His body started contorting. His ribs to where he was moving up like this. You can hear the cracking of his ribs. You can see the contorting of his bones. You can see the full-blown manifestation of demonic possession happening to this guy. And we found out that his grandparents were Satanists from overseas. And they didn't clear that up, and it passed over his parents.
Okay.
What came to him.
Yeah.
And that does happen. I mean,
because he was looking for something spiritual. And that's where I've noticed that that demonic attack happens most is when you're looking for something spiritual. The devil hears that. And he's like, "Oh, you want to try something spiritual? Well, look at this. Let's see if you can deal with this." And then if you believe that that's a spiritual thing, then he's already won, because he has turned you away from God. He has turned you away from having a relationship from God, because then you're going to be like, what's the one thing you're going to do? You're going to be like, well, why would God let this happen?
Would it surprise you to know that I do believe in God? Maybe not the same way you do, but very similar. Would that surprise you?
No, actually, it doesn't. It doesn't. I have met so many people, Tracey, since I've been doing this show and things like that. I have met so many people like yourself, just really good-hearted people, that really mean well, that really do know what it's like to have a relationship and belief in God, but you practice what you practice, but you're a good person, and that's what people that's what anybody should look for. I mean, if the person practices this, what do they do with it? How do they live their life? How do they treat people? Because Jesus left 2 commands on earth. He said, love God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. That's the first commandment. And the second one, it says, is just as important. It says, love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Right.
The problem is the love of others grow cold, and people don't respect people. They get offended a lot easier. Everything gets all carried away. So the understanding of people just isn't there, and that's where the lack of communication comes in.
Yeah,
definitely, most definitely. All right, Tracey, back to you.
Sorry, guys.
Oh no, I consider this all part of me too.
I know.
Absolutely.
It's always good when you always can ask questions on here. I mean, even the guests and everybody, and that's why it's a good thing, because we all learn from each other.
Yeah,
sure.
So that's definitely for sure. You mentioned your book has spells in it.
Yeah.
What kind of spells Can you briefly mention some of the stuff that's in there, and does it come with warnings?
Oh yeah, I do. I don't put up a note that says caution, do this, but I do talk very strongly throughout the book that, if your intent is pure and it's for positive, you're going to be okay. But you can't go into this treating it disrespectfully,
True.
and you can't go into this thinking it's, oh, I'm going to say bibbity bobbity boo, and all of a sudden I'm a millionaire. That's not going to happen. You got to
Right.
put the work in. You got to show respect. You can't. There's a lot of. I know I said before you there's things you can and can't do, but um, yeah, I do. I warn them throughout. And if it happens to be an herb or something that's a little touchy to use, I warn them about that, about not keeping it away from their kids, and you know, do this with a clear mind. And so, yeah, it's filtered throughout there, throughout the
And
book.
I'm sure you probably got a spell in there for shielding, don't you?
Several, yeah, a couple of them. And I talk about grounding, different ways you can ground, not just by going outside. You know,
Grounding's your biggest shield right there.
oh,
Right.
I love it. I love it. And I
Tell,
love to go
tell,
out with a little bit of copper and put that in the ground. And just, to me, I can feel the difference between doing that and not doing it. I don't know if you've ever done that before or not, but
Mhm.
it's a big difference for
I've
me.
actually I've actually sat under a copper pyramid, and
Okay.
you can definitely tell the difference when the energy is around.
Where was that?
It's actually at the shop here in town. They've got actually a copper. It's made out of copper pipe, and it's a
Okay.
pyramid they've got in their shop, and you can actually sit in it. You can actually feel the energy in it.
Sit
Oh, nice.
inside the pyramid.
It's like made out of copper pipe. The whole pyramid is, and it's got a chair. You can just walk underneath of it and sit right
So it's
there.
like a teepee,
Yeah.
How's the
but it's pyramid.
vibration in there? How's the vibration in there? I know
Um,
copper puts a
you can
huge
definitely feel,
vibration.
you can definitely feel the energy when you're in it. It's a different feeling than just sitting out in the open. You can actually feel that energy, your body absorbing it.
That's crazy.
Oh,
Yeah. They've got it in a shop here where I live out here in Galesburg, about probably 10 blocks away from where I live.
Mm.
And
oh,
they've got it there.
wonderful. What a blessing.
I've
Now,
actually,
Tracy, with your spells and everything, I do have a question for you. With your spells and everything, like there's Sean asked about warnings and things like that. Now, are there like cautions for every single spell, or is it something that you have to be careful doing certain ones?
I don't put a caution with each and every one per se. I in the beginning of whatever the chapter is, I'll talk about your intent and the respect and all of that. To kind of give an overview of it. Like this, there's only one way to go into this, and that is, with a pure heart and a pure mind, and put in the work in yourself. Like I said, if it has some kind of herb in it, um, that it wouldn't be good for you. Yeah, I take that off to the side. I have one in there about um, getting away from an abusive situation,
Mm,
and I put on there, you know, this is the last step for you. The first step should be, and then I have all these different help organizations,
right.
written down in the 800 numbers. It said, first thing you do is you go to the cops. Second thing you do is you call these people. The last thing you do, and it's out of desperation, is this. But I don't want to ever see anybody have to use that. But they have
it's
it.
like exorcism, last resort. Kind of. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Mhm.
I mean, I've seen people cast a spell on another person, and I'm not going to say it's right or it's wrong, but I know what that person did to the other person. And I tell you what, it was a downward spiral for the person it was cast on.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I would never cast for anybody without their permission. That's
Well,
something that.
Now, let me ask you that. Okay, you said okay without your permission. Now, what if it's somebody that like that like does something against you, and
Okay.
then
Oh, I
and
got
then
that.
and then you do something back. I mean, are there repercussions for you
The
behind
only
that?
thing that I do, and I've done this with a person we all know, was to put him, it's an old gypsy spell. You put him in the freezer, make him chill out.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot that goes into it, but I don't ever, ever, ever wish ill will or financial loss or any of that nonsense. That's all the dark stuff, and I don't deal with it. Um, I just wish the worst I can wish upon them, and that I have, is please let them understand and feel what they caused others to feel. But for me, that's just understanding what you did. So
Right.
yeah, but no, I don't do anything that
Karma.
could bounce back on me. Yeah.
One thing I do know is, when people start doing bad things to me and their intent, and I know what manifestation can do. We all know what spells can do.
Hmm.
One thing I do is I reverse it first thing and I put a shield in it.
Yeah.
And then I turn around and I said, you know what? I don't want the karma to come back on me. I'll
Exactly.
let karma take care of it herself. She does a
Mhm.
great job when you let her do her job.
Oh
Well, how
yeah.
do you know that that's happening to you, though, Sean?
Well,
Well. Oh,
you
I'm sorry.
definitely can tell when something starts happening with you because the bad luck starts coming, and then you just turn around and you put a mirror spell back up and say,
Hmm.
whoever sent this to me returns back to them, and I do not want the ill intent from what this is, but I want it reversed back to them and let karma take care of it itself, and don't
Right.
let yourself manifest anything else into it just from what they did, because then it's coming back on them for what they did to you.
Yeah.
Very interesting. That is very interesting.
Yeah, because I don't want that karma coming back on me, and I know about 3 or 4 people that's done that to me,
Hmm.
and it's turned around and it's bit them in the ass.
Oh
Mm.
yeah. Yeah. Most definitely. Yeah. I used to work at a retailer named Kohl's. I don't know if y'all have that anywhere where
Mm-hmm.
you are. And they did a story for Halloween one year in one of the Baltimore papers, and which was delivered to where I worked, and they talked about me being a Wiccan and being a witch and being a this and a that. I'm like, I had just started. I thought these people are not going to understand any of this, and sure enough, I had people coming up to me, and I didn't like it. Didn't bother me because I thought here's an opportunity. So I said, sit down. I like candles. Do you like candles? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I like incense. Do you ever burn incense or have it burnt? Yeah. And I started comparing things. I said, we're kind of doing the same thing, just different ways. We all want to, in my opinion, get to that really pure, honest place. It's just what road are you going to take to get there,
Exactly.
if that makes sense.
It's the enlightenment that you use behind it too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I guess I'm very fortunate because I've got what they call the balance. I can go both sides. I can go to the dark side and I can go to the light side, and
Oh,
and,
sure.
I, and both sides work for me because I understand what's going on between the both of them. And
Right.
when you only understand one side, it's hard to understand the other because you can't fight it. But when you have
Yeah.
knowledge of both, that's when you're the most dangerous.
Oh, yeah. There's what people consider white magic and then black magic, but to me, it's gray. You know, I,
Hmm.
I because I know of some of the dark stuff doesn't mean I practice it, but I
Right.
have the knowledge of it so that if it's used against
Hmm.
me, I can respond appropriately.
And
Now,
It's
that's
like,
what if you got like mad? Like, what if you were just to a point to where I mean, you tried grounding yourself, and I mean, you just feel like you have to get back at that person. I mean,
it's
is there a fear that you have behind that, or
no, not at all. The worst that's happened to me, and I've only done this like 3 or 4 times in my life, where the person I was speaking to had done something so egregious that I was just fuming inside. I felt like a wave starting at my toes and coming up, and I threw an energy bolt at them or punch. And they literally went like this all 4 times. And I felt so bad afterwards, but it's like something I couldn't control. I'm not an X-Men or anything like that. It's just that extra added stored up energy, and you're getting mad and you're getting mad. It's got to come out somehow. So in this case, a couple of cases, that's how it manifested. But
You brought up the
I,
fact. You
yeah,
brought up the fact of your energy and forming energy to throw back at them. One of the best things to have is have your energy level up so high, it makes them annoyed.
yeah,
They don't really like being around you to begin with.
yeah. What a sad
And
thing.
yeah, because you'd like to help them, but when you start talking to them, they start downgrading you in every sense of the word. And then you try to help them to see what they're doing wrong, and they want to sit there and throw that negative manifestation on you all the time.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when that energy of yours is so high, it gets to annoy them. They just don't want to be around you, and that's a good thing when that energy level is high.
Yeah. It took me a while to find mine, but I found it.
Well, yeah, that's why I always keep my energy up, because I'll just sit there, and if I know, I deal with an energy vampire every day at work.
Yeah.
And what I do is I just get up and leave.
Mm-hmm.
I just get up and walk away. Every time he comes around me, I just get up and walk away. I know what he's doing. I know exactly what he does.
Does he know what he's doing?
He doesn't have a clue, and I've tried to explain it to him, and he doesn't want to make changes. So I just let him be. I walk away from him. I take myself out of the picture. I take myself out of that drama. I take myself out of that energy, and I'm me.
Yeah.
But then when he's around me,
I look at it as though some people are just so addicted to being miserable.
mm-hmm.
They don't know life without being miserable.
Exactly.
And if they're going to be miserable, then everybody around them is going to be miserable.
And misery loves company.
Yep.
There you go.
And you take yourself out of that element, and you just stay away from it.
Oh yeah.
And they dig their own grave.
Oh yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah. So what's one of the most crazy experiences you've ever had, Tracey?
Well, I've seen an elemental. I've channeled a serial killer. Went down and channeled 2 girls who were murdered in LBL. Which one would you like me to talk about?
I've also heard
the serial killer.
Yeah.
Huh?
Serial killer.
Okay, the serial killer. This was down at Laurel's House of Horrors. And I don't do research on anybody. I don't have the time, the patience, or the inclination. I can barely do my restream that I'm on. And I've finally kind of got to that. But I don't want to learn. I don't care. So I go in every place completely blind, as it were. And my husband and I were going to go down there and walk through and film it. And on the way down, I looked in the back seat of the car and I see this man there, and I get the name Sam Little. Okay. I thought that's people pop in and out. I'm used to it. It doesn't freak me out. We get down there, and apparently this Sam Little, unbeknownst to me, was one of the most awful serial killers on the East Coast. He would drag people into the woods, and where this place was right where he had a couple of his murders.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and my husband said at one point, you looked at me and he said, a voice came out of you that was not you. It was low and gravelly and like a man's voice. And he said, let's take them into the woods and have fun. And I like this
projecting,
one.
So
he grabs his St. Michael medal, which he always has with him, especially when we go out someplace. And he said he grabbed that and he put his hand on me and I snapped out of it. Now, most of the time when I do a channel, it feels like I'm sitting in a movie theater all the way in the back and watching. When I was down at Land Between the Lakes, they had me try this thing called a God helmet. Are you all familiar with that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
And after that, I did the Estes method. And because they wanted to see what would happen. Well, not only did they do those 2 things, but we went down on Halloween or Samhain for me and a full moon. It was a trifecta of everything, a perfect storm, if you will. So they put this God helmet on me, and I start seeing. I tell people, if you ever ate chiclets as a little kid in the little yellow bag and it has the confetti on it, that's what I kept seeing. It was this bits of confetti. And then about a football field away, I see this what I can thought was a shadow person because that's my background. And within a millisecond, ear to ear, and charged right up on me. Some of the other guys from NCI believe that it was a Bigfoot that bum rushed me to see, since I'm so open, and this God helmet opened me up even more. That is she someone who we need to be afraid of? And then I remember hearing footsteps going around three times, around me, and I was the only one down there with sitting in front of the lights and the camera and the recorders and all that. And I kept thinking to myself, because I shouldn't have been able to hear anything, but I could hear these footsteps. It's like, great, Greg Ogles, who filmed it all, produced it all. I was like, aren't his feet gonna get picked up on this? He's being so damn loud. Well, he wasn't anywhere there. They were all 50 feet off that direction. But then I got into these two young girls who were killed in the 80s. And I think because I had the God helmet on, I felt a lot more. It took me about 2 weeks to recover when I got home. But when I was doing it, it wasn't like I was just witnessing it. I was there. These two girls were 16 and 14. They were stepsisters, excuse me.
Right.
And I remember the older one said, we just wanted to go for a ride with whatever his name was in his blue truck. And he took them out to this place at LBL, and he had a friend there, a guy, and they did the worst thing you can do to women. Okay. I felt it all. Something I never want to experience again. And I said, if anything ever came close to breaking me, it was that. But I do it again for them because I ended up being able to cross them.
Oh, nice.
And knowing and knowing that they're okay, and then that morning at the hotel we were at, I saw them, these two girls. And apparently, now I don't remember a lot from it. I remember more than usual, but normally I don't remember anything from an Estes method.
Right.
So that's why I'm a little sketchy with it. I saw them at the hotel. I saw them where we went out to eat breakfast. And then I saw them at LBL looking at me from off in a distance. I'm like, I thought maybe they were just kids being kids. And apparently at the time I said both their names, first, middle, and last, how old they were, what they looked like. After we were all done and he take the goggles off of me, I look around, everybody's crying. Because apparently I was screaming for bloody murder, like somebody was, attacking me. And I look around, I was like, what happened? And then all of a sudden it kind of came rushing back. But my husband looked up the names of these two girls, and he showed me the pictures and said, oh my God, that's them. That's them. I had no idea. So it's been a lot of interesting, crazy things. That, if I've ever been scared, it was that. That scared me.
That God helmet that you were referring to, are you talking about Austin Maynard?
I don't know that. This was like a little.
He's got one of his own, Shane, but she's probably referring to something similar.
Yeah, Trey Hudson was down there with us,
Okay.
And he put it on. It was like not a tight fitting cap, but snug. Had little electrodes on it, and that went to a box. Okay, so whether those are the two same things, I don't know. Apparently most people don't hear things and see things. They just get the experience from the God helmet. I was seeing things. When what I thought was a big shadow person bum rushed me, I'm down there doing this. And my husband, he said later on, he goes, you look like you were doing Stevie Nicks down there, shooing and everything.
Yeah.
So,
well, according to what I know about that God helmet, it actually tunes into your mind, into the frequencies around you. And that's what opens up a lot of stuff. And a lot of people don't understand what that actually does. So you said you were drained for like a couple of weeks after, or a week
Oh,
after.
at least 2 weeks, and I know, like another reason why I said I'm always been protected, always will be. We were supposed to go down November 1st and 2nd, and then he was going to be down there with the rest of the people from NCI until the 9th. My husband got in and said, we're going to go down on the 30th. And that was the right thing to do. Well, thank God he did that, because we got to spend 2 days just playing tourist. And then Saturday, we went and we found the spot. And Sunday, I did the filming. It was maybe about 3 hours in total. When we were done, I can't explain to you the level of drain I was at. And I thought to myself, and I've since told him many times, had we gone down there on the 1st and stayed there, I would have ended up in the hospital. It was that bad. He had to do everything for about 2 weeks. And coming home on that flight was the hardest thing. Besides giving birth to my child, that was one of the hardest things, to try to keep myself together and composed and not want to get hysterical. So
Mhm.
yeah, I took a 2 week sabbatical.
I've been on an investigation before where I've done what they call ghost writing for a client,
Yeah.
and I allowed the spirit to use my arm to write. And by the time I was done, I felt so drained. It was unreal. It was
Yeah.
just like it sucked everything out of me. I drank like
Yep.
5 or 6 Mountain Dews afterwards just to get my energy level back up because I just felt drained.
Yeah.
Sean was
And
like, I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Yeah, it doesn't really jack me up, but the fact is, I drunk it enough to get me back up to par because it drained me pretty
Yeah.
good.
it's kind of interesting, because I've had a bunch of people say to me since then, "Oh, I want to go try it." I said, "No, you don't. You can't go into it with that attitude of, oh, let's go play and see what happens."
And one of the things I said to the spirit at the time, I said, "You're only allowed to use my arm."
Yeah.
Because I didn't want him invading anything else. You're only allowed to use my arm to write.
Right.
And I wrote for the client, which the questions she wanted. And, it was the most draining thing that's ever happened.
Yeah, I get it.
But yeah, it's definitely, if you don't understand what you're doing about it, definitely don't try it, because I tell you what, it will.
Yeah, it's like I'm going to learn to drive a car and you get into a Porsche.
Yeah.
You just, no, don't be stupid.
Right.
I'm going to learn to ski. I'll go on a black diamond. I'll learn that way.
Right.
No. You got
Right.
to start
Right.
small,
Right.
build your way up, and, get some mentors, get some old people like me, I'll answer your questions.
So I know you're an empath, Trace,
Mhm.
and you're able to see things like I do, but you see them in different versions. You see kind of like do you see full apparition or just the
I
outline?
have. No, I've seen just about everything. I've seen the outline. I've seen like the blurry kind of figure. I've seen the person there, to the point where when I had this retail job, I turned a corner and I was talking to a farmer who I knew was just standing there, and apparently security called me and said, "Are you okay?" "Yeah." "You're talking to yourself." I said, "No." And I looked back over and it wasn't there. So I've seen them very, very solid looking. I've seen them as just shadows. I've seen them, like just a little bit of like fog looking things, all
Mhm.
kinds. I've seen them, third eye. I've seen them in person. You know,
I've
it just
only
it depends
seen
on the spirit.
I've only seen two full apparitions. One was my girlfriend that passed away, and one
Mhm.
was the Broadhead Manor when I seen the janitor. The rest of them,
Okay.
when I see them, I see it like energy waves, like heat coming off the asphalt. It's just
Yeah.
energy standing there. That's how
Like
I
an
normally.
aura.
Yeah, I normally see an energy standing there. But yeah, it's always interesting because everybody's different on how they see
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. And there's no right or wrong. That's something else I've been trying to get across to people. You're not, no, this person doesn't do it this way and that person doesn't do it that way because
Exactly.
this one's wrong or that one's wrong. That's just what works for them.
Yeah.
Exactly. Do you have any advice you would give to people starting out on how to ground before they start doing any of this?
Oh, sure. You don't have to just go outside and put your feet on nature, on dirt. It can also be like if you're in a beach situation, it can, as long as it's natural and occurring naturally, So if you go to a playground and it's got sand there, that's not going to work because it's not occurring there naturally.
Mhm.
I always tell people try different things, different ways of grounding before you go into whatever it is you're going to go into. Whether it's going outside and just breathing in, breathing out, and standing
Right.
there on the ground and letting everything kind of like settle down, or you take a shower or a bath and you do the visualization with the light,
Mhm.
or you do a smoke cleanse where you're just, passing it around, letting your thoughts calm down. It's whatever works for you. You know,
I noticed
during
one
the
thing.
winter time. Yeah, during the winter time, I don't go out and ground, so I'll do more of a like a shower sort of cleansing.
Right. I noticed something that I do a lot, and I'll use elements, fire,
Mm-hmm.
water. I'll use the air, you know, and even, earth. Like you said, you can go out and do any of them. But the most I use is like fire and water for sure, because you can
Okay.
take a candle and you can take the heat, and then
Yeah.
you can energize your chakras, realign them with it, and go
Mm-hmm.
from there and
Yeah.
reground everything from there.
Yeah.
You can do that with the water too, because we're basically water. Put
Yeah.
your receiving hand in the water,
Mm-hmm.
and start grounding yourself from the water that's around you.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good thing to do.
And if you don't have water accessible to you, you can use a mirror,
Hmm.
which is symbolic of water.
And
Right.
it's so good with grounding too, especially like when you take your shoes off and you're able to, because a lot of the nerve points that are all throughout your body that control your chakras, your emotions, and things like
Mm-hmm.
that run from your feet all the way up to your heart and things like that. And I have found dirt, grass, the roots of
Mm-hmm.
trees themselves
Hmm.
are
True.
great groundings.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I tell people when you're grounding, no matter what form, whether it's fire or smoke or water or air or the ground itself, if you want to, first you want to get rid of everything. So you're going to visualize all the ick going down one side of your body and into the ground or the water or the smoke or the whatever. While at the same time, coming up the other side is a beautiful white protective light. So as negative goes down, the positive comes up until you're surrounded in positive. And to me, it's just the most wonderful feeling.
Yeah.
Definitely so. Do you use crystals, Tracy?
I use crystals, I use herbs and things. Yeah, I can't do tarot card to save my soul. And I talk about that in the book. I say, if you want to learn tarot, I'm not the one to learn it from because I've tried and tried and tried, and I just can't get it. It's not my thing. Um, Same thing with like astrology and numerology. I envy people who can do that. I can't. Give me a pendulum, give me some dowsing rods, give me, some crystals, give me some
Hmm.
candles. I'm good to go. But the other stuff, the real pretty stuff, nah, it's not for me. And that's okay. It's not that you just quit. It's just after a while you realize not everything is for everybody, and you need to
Right.
move on. That's what I did.
The one that got me started doing tarot cards was Miss Pam Harris, when she gave me my first set. And she
Hmm.
says, "You'll take like this to a duck in water." And she was right. And I've got like shaman cards and
Okay.
um, angel tarot cards that I use. But yeah, she's the one that actually taught me how to use tarot cards and understand what the energy comes off of them. And there's been times that me and her's been on a show before, because we do late night tarot,
Hmm.
and we would both read a client that would ask to have their cards read. I'd let her go, and then I'd take all five of my cards that I'd pick for the guest, and I'd lay them face down on my laptop here in front of me.
Hmm.
I'd let Pam do them, hers, and then I would sit there and wait, and then I would do mine. And a lot of the time, we would come up with the same exact cards,
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
and that's bizarre, and that's kind of rare.
Yeah.
But
Now you
Pam,
two aren't into one another.
Yeah, Pam's really good at really reading tarot cards, and like I
Okay.
said,
Yeah, we love Pam. She's awesome.
and
I've had the pleasure of speaking with her a couple of times.
yeah, she's the one who showed me how to do tarot cards. She's really good at it. I've been trying to
Well,
get
maybe
her to
there's
come
hope
back.
for me yet.
I've been trying to get her to bring her show Shireen Divine back on. So, but she's been
Okay.
busy with grandkids and stuff like that. So, but I've been trying to get her to come back up.
Okay.
So, let's see. Any other questions you got, Shane?
Well, I was going to ask you, how would you like to be my special guest for my show next Monday? Not this Monday coming, but next.
I would be honored, sir.
Awesome.
But you better
Awesome.
send me a message, otherwise I'm going to forget.
We'll definitely do it. My producer, she'll also reach out to you too.
Okay.
We make a promo video and
Okay.
everything, so we'll be able to
Awesome.
share it out, put it out there.
Yeah,
So
thank you. Thank you very much. I'm honored.
yes,
It's
man.
about time we work together, right?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, Gwen does all the fancy videos and intros, and I do all the old fashioned style.
See, I don't know how to do any of that, and I have no desire to learn. You
But
know, I know what buttons to hit now for my show, and I'm done. And I'm good.
it all works to the advantage, and it all works out well. So
Yeah.
and me and
Yeah,
Gwen's
I'm one of the OGs for the network.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
not far,
considered what they consider an OG for the network.
I'm not far behind you.
No, you're definitely
I'm
not.
glad y'all are doing well. That's such a blessing. What a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I think
You don't
Shane.
know who you've helped along the way. You don't know.
Yeah, well, like I said, you never burn a bridge, especially
Right.
with good friends, because like for instance, this, Shane
Mhm.
Shane and I got to talking. It's like, hey, you need to come to the network. And then me and Gwen started talking, and I was like, okay.
Mhm.
And I've been there for what, a year and 3 months now.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think right after everything went haywire with the previous, she was on before NCI did one of their shows and had made the offer. And it's not that we don't trust her. It's just at that point we were all so raw that the thought of going into another, now time's passed. So I don't know, maybe they'll reach out again. I'm not sure. But it was like somebody asking you to marry them right after you got a divorce. You know, you need a little cooling time, and I have great respect for her. I think she's an awesome person, but the timing was just off.
Yeah, she does an amazing job for this network, and she does a lot of hard work for sure.
Yeah.
Cool.
And she's willing to take on it worries me some, because like for instance, like Mondays, are just back to back to back to back. I mean, like as soon as my show gets done, 7:30, she literally has like 15-20 minutes before the next show.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah,
One show a week, I'm happy.
yeah.
And it's so much easier to be a guest than it is to be the host. So this is fun.
She's so dedicated because she does what she does. And, I offer, to break up that monotony because, like I said, I'm the backup for her. And there's times she'll call me up. It's like, hey, help me out. I got something coming up, or, Shane's got his show and I can't get to the laptop, and I fill in for her, and we all have a heyday still. So we all get along really well.
Okay.
Yep. You'll love it. I mean, my show is so organic, and I mean, we'll have a great conversation. And I think everybody's gonna love you, Tracey. I know.
Thank you.
I know.
And I heard what you said before the show started. They had a great deal of respect for me. I want to tell you, that really touched me. That was so nice. I really thank you for that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Like I said,
I know Shane respects me, and I respect both of you guys. But when you hear stuff like that every now and then, it's like, oh, that's really cool.
Well, you got to respect people that Like I said, I left the old network and went out and joined these guys. I mean, I went solo for maybe two months,
if that. if that, because
And
you were still bouncing back and forth. You know, you were.
yeah, and then I finally joined you guys.
Yeah.
And like I said, you know, you were one of the few that Tracy's one of the few that actually reached out after the fact when I left. So I mean, that says a lot about your character right there.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
So
I appreciate that.
for sure. And you know, congratulations on your new show.
Oh
Thank
man,
you.
I'm excited about seeing this.
Okay, yeah, every Wednesday night, live 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, YouTube and Facebook.
Awesome.
And
That's
subscribe.
awesome.
My husband just said, subscribe.
I actually did subscribe already. And,
Okay.
and I think April 1st, I will be on your show.
Yes. Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
So we'll dig into some stuff then that night as well. So,
okay,
but
cool.
we are 11 minutes past the hour, and
Okay.
I'd like to thank you, Tracy, for coming on the show tonight.
Oh no, my pleasure. Thank you.
And where can they reach you at?
You can reach me on my Facebook page, which is Tracey Lynn, and please note that Tracey is Tracey and then Lynn. You'll see my face and my husband's face, so you'll know you get the right one. If you have a question or concern and you don't have anybody to talk to, send me a message at paranormalwhitewitch@gmail.com. You can get my book on Amazon. It's available through Kindle, softback and hardback. So, and very reasonably priced. And I think I've heard from quite a few people that it's got so much in it that has much more to do with making your life easier, you know, and so forth and so on, than it does. Like they just assumed it was going to be a bunch of spells. It's a lot more than that. So
show it again, Tracy, real quick. Show your book real quick. Back it up a little bit. So there you go. Definitely go check out Tracy's book. For sure. I can't read the writing. It says witchcraft on it. And what's the rest of it?
Witchcraft by Blood and Tradition, a beginner's guide.
Awesome. Definitely.
Or if you go on Amazon and you type in my first and last name and book or witchcraft or witch or something like that, it'll pop right up.
Definitely go check that out. I definitely will probably try to get a hold of it here before long. I'd be definitely kind of interested in seeing what it is, but I want an autograph book.
Yes, sir.
We'll
figure it out.
We'll figure it out, but I definitely want an autographed one because I just went to Miss Sylvia Schultz's book opening yesterday in Brimfield, and I got an autographed book from her yesterday as well.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome.
But
okay.
Like I said, Tracey, thank you for coming on the show tonight, and
thank you so much.
I'm looking forward to seeing you on April 1st.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I'm going to drop you backstage here, Trace. What do you think, Shaner?
She's great. I look forward to having her on. I mean, you could just tell she's such an open person, you know, and I mean, it's not difficult to read her. It's not difficult to understand her personality or who she is. I mean, she's just a genuine person.
She has a magnetic.
Yeah. My wife just said she has a magnetic personality. Like you want to be around her. And that's what draws me with her, you know, and she's always had it. I really like it.
And she's got that down to earth part to her that, you know, she's also got that sympathetic part to her. She understands what's going on as well. For sure. Angie, I hear you in the background.
What's up, Todd?
No, I'm still very privileged to be the one that had you on my podcast first.
I'm telling you, it's very rare. Very rare.
But she will. I'm telling you, you're the one person. You're the one person that she will. I don't even
know if I've been on your show with you. Have I?
No, Sean, she hasn't even been on my show.
Like I said, I was very privileged to be the first one she's ever come on with you.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And every time I see her pop up, I just got to remember Angie sitting in the background, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Everybody else right
So Christy Rico just popped in. Hey, we're just about ready to
Hey
end it.
sis, what's happening, sis?
I'm definitely going to have to get her on the show here before long.
Oh yeah. Get Christy. She is
One of a kind.
she is definitely one of a kind, and she will keep you interested in the conversation. And I mean, just her history and what she's been through, currently going through, how she deals. I mean, she's got a great testimony, a great story. So, man, if you get her on, you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to schedule her. I've got some coming up in May that I'll be scheduling. I've got 3 openings, so I'm going to definitely be reaching out to Christy for that for sure. Shane, this is your
Yep,
your
that's me right
show.
there.
Explain that real quick before we go.
That's it. That's my bio. That's my bio right there. Like I said, I specialize in spiritual warfare, demonology, and exorcism ministries. We are part of the Templar Archangel. Um, in our ministry, the Order of Archangels. So we just really look forward to helping people, and that's what we're about, and we're here. We're in the paranormal. We want to make ourselves accessible. So I mean, with teams, with anybody that's looking for that kind of help, and I also am willing to go with other teams if they need a proper clearing and cleansing of a house. If they are trying to help with a residential, I'm always open to helping with other teams too.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm also always willing to help other teams, and you know that. And like I said, I'll reach out to you if I can't figure out something or whatever, and you're always willing to reach out to me as well.
Yep.
And that's one of the best things, about me and you, because we see some things on the same page, and we do
Yep.
things just a little different, and we understand things a little different, but we get along great.
That's it. That's how it should be.
That's definitely for sure. I'm going to give one more big shout out right here to the theme song of the Eternal X Wolf Pack Paranormal.
That was awesome, man. That's
Yes,
really good how he did that. That's really good.
Joshua Moore did that for me, and he did an amazing job. Definitely go check out his page, Earthcore. It's part of the new album he's working on, and he gave me a chunk of it to have for the intro.
That's awesome.
So, and I'm definitely working on a new intro as well. It'll be coming up hopefully before May, if we can get it done. Me and Gwen's going to be working on it, but yeah, it's going to go with that song there. But definitely, I like to give a big shout out to Mr. Joshua Robert Moore for making the theme song for the Eternal X Wolf Pack Paranormal. Where can they find you, Shane, since you co-host with me tonight?
Co-host everywhere. All access, of course. Bridging the Seen and Unseen Mondays. We are the founders of Outer Realms Paranormal, so you can find us there. I think I set a goal, a couple years ago, that by our 3rd year that we would be at 3,500 members, and we have been there a little over 2 years, and we are at 3,500 members. So I'm really happy about that. And of course, our church pages, our Order of the Archangels page, you can find us anywhere. And then, of course, mine and Angie's Facebook, which we use most. But you can find it. You can find me anywhere, guys.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Shane, I'd like to thank you for coming on at short notice.
Thanks for having me, brother. It's always a pleasure.
I knew that you knew Tracey, and I knew it'd be a great show with all three of us on here, and kind of talk about and reminisce about old days too.
Yep. It's always good, man. Always good. You're always a good time to be around. We love you. We love being around you, and we appreciate you.
Well, thank you,
asking me
Shane.
to be on.
You know, I thank you, Shane, and I also thank you for all the stuff you do for the network and everything you do for us as well.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely.
All right. I'm out of here. Have a great weekend. Next weekend, let me see who we got here. We got Jesse Hawthorne who will be on the show next week. Definitely come and check out her and come and ask questions. We'll answer them live on the show. And everybody have a great rest of your night and see you next week. And definitely go check out Tracey's show, Tracey's book, and Shane McLean tomorrow night's show.
Yep.
Night.
Be blessed and stay spooky, people. Peace.
We're out of here. Have a great night.